Between the two of them.
The inside of Coates.
Barker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the third event of the Virtual Reality Racing Club official Scottish Legends Cars Championship, where the Scottish Legends have an away day from time to time. It's the Anglesey circuit, the international variety, which is the longest circuit. Delighted to welcome back Becky Albericio to the co-commentary box. Welcome back, Becky. Hope things are going well.
Yeah, all good with me. Thank you. I hope same to you. Always good to be back in the comms box by your side.
Thank you very much. And this track in particular is one of my favourites. It's a very long way to go from wherever you are, certainly from the southeast of England where I am. It's a long trek, but it is very much worth the journey because it is a circuit that was designed around the landscape that's there. The circuit was designed by Richard Peacock, who owns the land, or has a long lease on the land anyway, even if he doesn't own it. And there was an existing circuit here, which I think was there till around about 2002, 2003, something like that. Maybe talk about that when we get into it. But he saw around the land and decided to build a track around it. And that's our home for round three, having got Knockhill and Croft completed. In the previous 2 weeks. We reached the halfway point of the championship. I incorrectly said there were drop scores last week. I apologise for that. There aren't any drop scores, so if I panicked anyone on the watch back or indeed on the live broadcast, that's my mistake, because it is only 6 rounds rather than 8. There wasn't a need to drop any of the rounds. Next week again, back with Becky, and into December already. I'm not quite sure where the time's gone, but Oulton Park International. So I'm sort of going from one of my favourite tracks, Anglesey, to one of my least favourite venues, Oulton Park, unfortunately. But we are back at Anglesey on the 9th of December, and things wrap up anti-clockwise on the Knockhill circuit on the 16th of December before we get into our Christmas and New Year break. And you've probably it's about our next championship, which have been across the socials already, and we'll talk more about that at the appropriate juncture. Championship lead, though, is with Jack Smith from Charlie Devlin. Both of those drivers apparently not that keen on Anglesey. So it remains to be seen. Both very quick, as you would expect in the practice sessions. Thomas Potter is third from Scott Bugner. Scott really has been Mr. Consistency with 4th place in the standings at the moment. Dan Heaps is 5th. Happy birthday yesterday, Daniel. 6th position, Ollie Gibson from Alex Forster, who was driver of the round last week. Rich Hayden in 8th, and Christian Gillian and Andy Carroll wrapping up our top 10. Incidentally stayed the same from week 1 to week 2, which is very unusual. 11th, and probably eyeing up a driver of the round at some point, is Caden Cook, ahead of his better half Cat Potter. Lee Piercy in 13th, and Chris Blakey and Craig Curtis 15th. Harry Irvin, who I think is the top of the real world Scottish participants here, is 16th from Cian Haig, another one of our Scottish paddock, is 17th from Jack Dixon and Paul Laramie. Aidan Ingram looking to improve on his 20th position slot at the moment. Drivers we met on the scholarships earlier on, and the lineup completed by Callum Enstone, Scott Hunter, who I think is back with us after missing last week, and 3 drivers I don't think with us this week: Kenny Press, John Jones and Taylor Neal. So that's the entry. Hopefully we'll see Kenny, John or Taylor before the end of the campaign if they fancy coming out and having a blast on one of the tracks. Might be waiting for their who knows, but that is our championship rundown, and this is the rundown of what happened last week in terms of the top three. And it was Jack Smith who took overall points honours again to extend his championship lead, as you saw from the table. Thomas Potter in P2, sneaking through for that race 3 win in fine style at Croft. Charlie Devlin with 3 magnificent races, again the driver of the round from our first event at Knockhill clockwise, finished 3rd on points. And Alex Forster, great to welcome him back to our virtual podium as driver of the round at Croft last week. Rundown of where we are. Of course, we do tend to have a few judicials going on the Tuesday morning, or Tuesday morning, Tuesday lunchtime, that kind of thing. So always worth checking back on championship points and keeping on the socials to see how they unwind. This is the track though, great little circuit, great big circuit actually, the international one, used by teams of various levels, including sort of Formula 3. I dare say there's been some sneaky Formula 2 testing here as well. It is that good, this track, and throws in a little bit of everything, as Becky said to me before we went to air today. Let's have a look at the hot lap, which is by Jack Smith, the currently P2 on the timing. Jack's going to be our guide for a trip round the international circuit. So along the start-finish straight and very slightly uphill into the left-hander, which is our turn 1. And then something you don't really pick up from the simulation, but you do if you're at the track, is the hairpin that we've got here is actually a little bit banked. It's not a full-on banking, but it is banked enough. If it's wet, you can get a really good outside line with the grip being there, and a little bit of banking can help you down. Now we're going down towards Church Corner, very long sweeping right-hander, and this goes downhill, and then we get a little bit more of the right-handed curve past the various runoffs that lead to the other circuits here on Anglesey. 3 different configurations you can use as we go uphill. Blind crest here into Radar, which is a left and then a right, very slightly downhill. That's probably the entrance to Radar, is probably where we're going to get our reverse grid shenanigans, I guess. We'll wait and see whether that is the case or not. Around Peel Corner, named after the late great former radio presenter, and then downhill in towards the Corkscrew. If we're using the smaller circuit, we would peel off away to the right there, but we're going on the Tom Price Straight, named after the late great Welsh Formula 1 driver who sadly lost his life, I think it was at Kyalami in the 1970s. And then around the hairpin, this is part of the original circuit here, and this is the old pit lane straight. You can see the pit lane entrance as was on the left hand side, and we're going to be hard on the brakes for the 2nd time on the lap here as we come into the left hand of the final corner on the lap. And you can see Jack working hard. He's been a little bit squirrely over the course of the lap, crosses the beam and sets the benchmark of 1 minute 39 seconds. So that is a lap around the Anglesey International Circuit. We're using the coastal circuit, slightly shorter one, in 2 weeks' time when Glenn Birchall will be joining us in the commentary box for that. But Becky, I understand you've done a couple of tours of the circuit. How did you find it?
Just mentioned, it has got a bit of everything. You've got your tight corners, you've got some fast sectors, so it kind of throws a bit of everything at the drivers, which is always good to see. Get them working hard for keeping it on track and potential moves for overtakes, whether you go for a bit of a late lunge round the hairpins and use the banking, or maybe on the straights as you get a bit more momentum out of them. So it looks like a really good track. I think it's one of those that would probably be on most drivers' bucket list to go to. Just again, the scenic views that you get probably driving around. I'd probably get distracted going around being like, oh, look how scenic it is over there, nice and picturesque. And yeah, not probably be fully focused, which is obviously what you kind of need to do. So I'm sure the drivers will be locked in and not be too interested in the views as they go rounds this evening. They'll be focused fully ahead.
Yeah, I think the views are glorious. If you've not been, I'd strongly recommend a visit. You've got the wonderful sea views, you've got the views of Snowdonia. If we look the other way away from the circuit, you won't get that view here. But it is a super place, and the undulations are great as well. It's a good place for a run. It is right near the sea. You can go and have a paddle after the racing as well, as you've probably seen on the Races of Remembrance that VRRC put together. But it is, as I mentioned, very often an away day circuit for our Scottish Legends Cars Championship, which is why we are here. And I'm wondering whether we are going to get some first lap shenanigans. We've got Catherine Potter starting on pole position with Caden Cook alongside Andy Carroll and Christian Gillian next up from Rich Hayden and Alex Forster. So really, again, as I look down the grid, everybody's going to be in with a shout of a podium. And I'm fingers crossed that we get the same sort of close racing that we had when Becky, you and Jack were commentating on the Knockhill round, and when it was myself and Lewis Green last week. Some mega racing, some really good side-by-side stuff which the drivers enjoyed, and hopefully that will be part of the course today as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It seems to have been quite an interesting season so far. Looks like some fun cars to drive, which the drivers have been enjoying. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how this one unfolds.
So the lighting sequence is on screen and we're ready for race 1 of 3 this evening, and it is lights out. Normally, of course, Legends are a rolling start. Haven't been able to sort that one out yet for esports racing, but it's a good start by Cat Potter, who's got the best of that from Caden Cook. Andy Carroll is in P3, and it's Cat and Caden that lead them away, but the shenanigans happen at Church Corner first time around, or School Corner, I beg your pardon. So that is an early sort out. Christian Gillian dropping down the order, which is a great pity, but it's Cat Potter up front at the moment. Alex Forster's come through into second place. Can't remember whether his dad raced here or not. He may well have done. It might have been a round that I didn't come to. I did have to miss some. Usually have to miss some Legends racing due to being on with BTCC or other formulae. As one of the cars goes on the grass, big sideways moment. I'll tell you what, there's some big rollovers here in the years. Now, my prediction, Becky, about it all going off at Rocket proved to be totally wrong. So they've all behaved themselves there. None more so than Alex Forster, who leads from Charlie Devlin, who's come through into P2 already.
Yeah, a few tangles here and there, but I'm not too sure what happened with Catherine there as well, because she was quite away in front and has dropped back into the pack. But yeah, Charlie Devlin just seems to get on with it, and all of a sudden he's up at the front again. And I'm sure we've seen Jack and Thomas make good progress in these cars in the previous races, so I'm sure they'll be pushing to get to the front. But there's a good field between Charlie and Alex at the moment, so good to see Alex doing well. I know he was the driver of the round last week before all the traditionals, so it'll be interesting to see these two battle it out for this first race, especially because they're basically bumper to bumper. But we've got Daniel Heaps as well, has been putting in some good laps in practice, so he's one to watch as well. He's been doing well in the other races as well, so really seems to be liking driving the Legends car. They do look like a lot of fun to drive, I must admit. So yeah, probably keep an eye on everybody. It was much the same with Knockhill. You all of a sudden see somebody gain some momentum, get a bit of a gap, and then all of a sudden everybody else will close back in. So the toe seems to be quite strong for these cars. All of a sudden, yeah, you think you're away, and then bike lap, you've got people on the bumper again. So you can't just sit back and relax, which I know Jack always says when he comes on. For any interviews post-race, it's very much, yeah, you push every single lap, and especially in this series, it seems to be, yeah, you can't let up at all.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, particularly with the shorter races as well. There isn't time, is there, to settle down and just have a look. And that's what Charlie Devlin's doing, getting his head down. Now we've got Daniel Heaps in P2. Alex Forster is third. Heaps and Devlin, not a combination that I thought we were going to see, but the more I think about it, it's right, isn't it? Because they're both very, very quick and could give us some entertainment here. Let's have a quick look. Fastest lap is with Alex Forster at the moment, fastest flying lap. And so Alex doing a good job. He's actually having a go. Daniel Heaps dives down the inside. Is he going to run wide here and allow Daniel Heaps to go back through on the inside? Heaps has nearly got the side-by-side position to try and go back in, but it's Charlie Devlin out front again. He'll be pleased that second and third are squabbling. Jack Smith, despite his dislike for the circuit, is there in fourth and will be closing down. It's great to see Alex Forster here, underlining that driver of the round last time out, and very clearly on podium pace in this one. And Charlie Devlin away and down the road sets the fastest lap now with a 1:39.903. So Devlin making a little bit of hay while the sun shines here. Wide line from Daniel Heaps, trying to get away from Alex Forster, who's going to have his mirrors full of Jack Smith, who is closing up. So the yellow and blue car closing up on the all blue machine. 5th position is Thomas Potter. A little bit further back is Thomas, and then Chris Blakey 6th from Scott Bugner, Craig Curtis, Lee Pearcey in 9th, Rich Hayden next up, and Scott Bugner and Chris Blakey. I haven't seen a lot of Scott on camera as we go now. A group of 3 for 2nd position. It's Daniel Heaps there at the moment. Forster deposed by Smith, and Smith's now going to have a go at Daniel Heaps as they come up towards Peel Corner. Charlie Devlin enjoying though a little bit of breathing space at the moment.
Yeah, he's got that a bit of breathing space for the time being, but like I say, they'll soon be on his tail again. It seems to flow quite a lot in these cars around these tracks, as we've got Scott Bugner chasing Craig Curtis, so he was quite close and has dropped back a little bit, but just waiting for a bit of momentum as he's trying to pull up alongside him. Probably cutting back to try to get the inside of this corner. Still a little bit too far behind. We've got a recovering Rich Hayden who we saw go off quite wide off at the start of the race, so luckily he didn't drop too far behind and is able to make up a few places and get into a battle of his own.
He has, so he's still kept it in the top 10, which is good. Now, what can Jack Smith do about Daniel Heaps? Now, Daniel, I think, set the fastest time in the week's testing here at Anglesey International. Celebrated his birthday yesterday, so he might have the feel-good factor about his racing today. If he doesn't get the win, a podium will be very, very good indeed for Daniel. He said to me earlier on today that he was hoping to get an interview with us a little bit later on, as Scott Bugner and Craig Curtis still sorting him out. Rich Hayden closing in, so Rich has got the pace here and closing in on these two. That is the scrap for 6th place, with Charlie Devlin still out front. The gap has come down though, from just over a second, just over half a second now, first to second, as Curtis and Bugner trade places. Curtis on the inside, but that's going to be the outside as they come up into Rocket. The left-hander is going to be able to hang on to it. He does, but then ends up on the grass. So it went in a little bit deep on the exit. It's Scott Bugner that gets the position back. All Bugner can see in the distance is Thomas Potter getting away from them. Thomas in 5th place. Alex Forster still in a very commendable 4th position at the moment. Remember, Alex was 4th on the road in the final race last week. As we go back to the leaders, Charlie Devlin. Daniel Heaps closing down on him. Jack Smith hasn't been able to make an impression at the moment on Daniel Heaps, although having said that, closes up under braking, and we get at side-on shot. They're almost end-to-end the top 3 here. So last week we were treated to some, in the heat, some 2-car battles going on. It looks like we might be setting up here as we approach half distance for a 3-way battle for the lead, Becky. This is going to be good.
Yeah, the top 3 are very close, but then you've got Alex and Thomas not behind, so if they keep pushing and maybe don't argue too much between themselves, they'll be in for a chance. So at the moment, these top 5, it could be any of them that could end up on the top, especially as we've seen fortunately in some of the previous races. Sometimes got a little bit close towards the end, a bit of the pressure piling up and people going off and open the door up for the people behind. So I know Charlie Devlin got a few podiums the first couple of races because there was a few arguments with him that benefited him at the moment. His view's looking nice and clear, so no arguments to sort it out for him at the moment, unless they obviously tangle behind him, which you never want to see. But sometimes it is just the way the luck kind of falls for drivers. So, but some good close battles. People just seeming to work out where to kind of go for a move, so you can make sure you get the move done and you're not going to lose out too much by even not taking the ideal in line, lose too much momentum and then opening the door back open to whoever you've just overtaken. So it's kind of a bit of sussing out where's the best place to make your move, so you're going to benefit the most out of it and get the momentum out of the corner if you are obviously overtaken around a corner, to make sure you can keep that position and not, like I say, just kind of put in all that hard work and then just hand it back over to the driver, as Rich goes for a very late move there and has barged his way through. Doesn't need to be holding up thinking he needs to give that back. He's off down the road, so it didn't seem too aggressive, but he was definitely going to try to make that move happen then.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to give a judicial against himself tomorrow for that. He's usually pretty fair about it, is Rich, to be perfectly honest. When we get our next championship, by the way, which is the Super Classic Formula Fords, they're bringing their own clerk into that one. So I was on the meeting with Alan, who is the coordinator of it, Alan Bowles, and they're actually having their own clerk, as the mini championship did. So that's going to be... It's going to stop some of the drivers having arguments. Talking of drivers, we'd love it when we run another Scottish official one to get some Scottish drivers. Dan Clark, I would love to get in. He was champion in 2020 in the National Legends, runner-up, I think, in the Scottish Legends Cars Championship this year. And his other half, Elby. It'd be great if we could get them to compete, as well as several other drivers. So maybe I think some of the Scottish Legends drivers just having a look and seeing how this all panned out in terms of a series, but it'd be great to have some more real-world Scottish drivers or mechanics or engineers. Obviously, we've got a few of those with Harry Irvine and Scott Hunter and company racing with us. Scott Hunter, incidentally, at the moment is 18th. Aidan Ingram ahead of him in 17th. Christian Gillian 16th. Oliver Gibson having a little bit of a mare. He's down in 15th with Paul Laramie. Jack Dickerson 20th. Caden Cook 21st are the runners down towards the rear end of the field as we go back to our top three, with Charlie Devlin still there. Daniel Heaps trying everything that he can to close down, but it's Charlie Devlin still with the fastest lap of this one from Daniel Heaps. Jack Smith in P3 trying to close down. This actually, I've got to say, Becky, looks relatively settled for esports Legends Cars racing, and a little bit more tame than we've seen over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it does. Probably you've probably jinxed it now. We've got 3 laps to go, so we'll see. People will probably be feeling the pressure and thinking, "I've only got so many laps left to make a move and gain another place or even that win." So I'm sure they're gonna keep pushing as Jack is edging closer and closer to the back of Daniel Heaps. So he'll be eyeing up a move soon. But yeah, it looks like Charlie's looks quite comfortable out in front at the moment, just kind of driving his own race, still setting some fast laps and keeping it nice and consistent. No kind of major drifts going on, which is going to lose him any time. But as soon as he came into this championship, he seemed to be very, very comfortable. Obviously, he is a sim racer anyway, has done other championships, not with VRRC, so it's not like it's his first time. But yeah, Jack has edged even closer. He's taken about 2/10 out of Daniel Heaps, so he's closing ever so slightly. So I'm sure Daniel will be very wise to that and aware, and just making sure he can make his car as wide as possible to make it as hard as possible for Jack to get past him to try to secure that second place.
He will try, won't he, for sure. I'll tell you what, Charlie Devlin has done an absolutely superb job, and part of the Legends community runs with the Two Mater team, who largely, of course, on the National Championship, but did, I think, venture up to Knockhill for the final event of last year. And you've got to say he is, and as there's a challenge on for P2, and is it going to be successful, because Jack Smith dives down the inside of Dan Heaps. Charlie Devlin still fastest lap, and Dan is relegated to third. I think Jack sorted that one out fairly well. See whether Daniel Heaps can go back in. It's all going to be about the line into the hairpin now, and Jack Smith defending very well, but he saw that opportunity, a little bit of a nudge on the back there from Daniel Heaps, but he drops away, realised that he made a bit of contact that was unnecessary, and as a result just dropped away a little bit to have another go, but just got a wee bit too close on this, the 8th of 10 laps. Charlie Devlin looks like he is going to get his first win in the VRRC Legends Cars Official Scottish Championship, but second position is far from finished, and Daniel Heaps has read that well, going up into the rocket and radar complex, goes back on the inside, gets a retaliatory, well, not retaliatory, but a karma, shall we say, a karma tap from Jack Smith, who again backs out of it exactly as Daniel Heaps did. Well, he said it was tame. It certainly isn't as we get into the closing stages.
Yeah, they know there's only so much time left for them to make that move. So yeah, it doesn't. I'm not going to say desperate, but it gets to a point where it's like, right, I need to make the move. So some racing going on there, and good for them to obviously both of them realising they've made a bit of contact and backing off and giving each other space. The good thing as well, they've got Thomas and Alex behind them. They're also fighting, so they're swapping back and forth between the pair of them. So it kind of gives Jack the room to race as well and not worry too much. They are falling slightly back into the grips of them too, but because they're battling as well for position, they're kind of thinking, well, we can probably keep fighting till the end, and you see who comes out on top. As long as they don't get too tangled, because then we might end up with Thomas and Alex on the podium if they get a bit too close. But they're alongside each other again, as it seems to be the case with these two at the moment. It's just back and forth. So Jack's got the inside now, but we know Daniel's kind of probably worked out. He's like, right, if you do this on the last lap, get in front of you on that corner again, he might be on for that second position, as he's already fighting back into the next corner to get the inside for that corner. But then he could be taking the lead, but then it swaps back. So it's going to be hard to tell who's going to get this, as Thomas is now edging closer. He seems to have broke a little bit away from Alex, only slightly. He's now probably eyed onto this and thinking, right, okay, where can I pick up the pieces, especially when they're so close. But yeah, at the moment, who's getting second, it's any school, as Charlie has well and truly disappeared into the distance.
Yeah, Charlie making the most of this, isn't he? Got his head down. No arguing about this. He was very, very quick in the early stages, getting through the traffic, got into the lead, and has got the fastest lap as well. So nobody can argue about that win at all. As the scrap now is on for third place. So it's Potter and Heaps now for third place, because Jack Smith has managed to block that run up into Rocket last time around, and Thomas Potter's got his nose in front and on the podium, almost doing what he did at Croft, which is sneaking through in the late stages of the race. As the race leader, Charlie Devlin, heads onto the last lap. We'll see the lap counter tick over onto lap 10 of 10 as he crosses to the line from Jack Smith in P2. 4 seconds down now, but Charlie Devlin is going to have a little bit of official Scottish Legends VRRC sporting history written here with the first win, unless it all goes wrong. We had drivers running out of fuel last time out, which was a great pity. Aidan Ingram, I think, was one of those that misjudged. He's 18th, so he's running well, is Aidan, so a little shout out for him. A little bit further down the order, as P3 still has this big sort out going on, and look at this, Alex Forster has joined in again. We're looking at Jack Smith in P2 with the yellow and blue car, and it is a three-way scrap for the podium at the moment, and Daniel Heaps here is never ever beaten until the flag, and he's going to have a go on the inside again. This is exactly what he did to Jack Smith a couple of laps ago, but runs a little bit too deep, and I think he's going to lose fourth position as well. He does. What a pity for yesterday's birthday boy Daniel Heaps, who drops down. It's Thomas Potter third. Alex Forster's had a super race. I really wish that we would see more of Alex Forster in VRRC racing, because he's done an absolutely sterling job here to stay with the championship front runners, and he's just one place off the podium. So really good racing from him, and he's still got a chance to do it. We've got that long run up the Tom Price straight here on the international circuit, but Charlie Devlin looks like he's on the way to the win.
Yeah, he's just coming around the hairpin, so he's just got this straight and the last left-hander, and then over the line for him. So unless something drastic happens now, we can say Charlie has definitely got that win, with Jack following about 3.5 seconds behind. So yeah, great dominance there from Charlie. Got into the lead quite early on, and didn't do it from there. And so great drive again.
Yeah, super. Well done, Charlie Devlin. First win in the championship, very well deserved, and not a moment too soon as well. Jack Smith in P2. Thomas Potter grabs that third spot on the podium. So well done, Thomas. Fourth position goes to Alex Forster. Great drive from Alex, underlining his driver of the round last week. Scott Bugner, again, consistently sixth position for Scott. Remember, he prefers front-wheel drive, but these are awkward rear-wheel drive cars, and Scott really adapted to them well. Rich Hayden seventh. Oliver Gibson did well, came through into eighth position. Catherine Potter backs up her 3 top 10s last week with another top 10, ninth position in race 1 here from Chris Blakey, who wraps up top 10. 11th was Craig Curtis from, I think, Lee Piercy. Next up, my timing screen is out of sync with the timing tower that we have on screen. So Lee Piercy from Kian Hay, good result for Kian there in 12th position. Just one place down on his best run in the championship so far. Paul Laramie is next up from Harry Irvin in 13th. Andy Carroll 14th. And then Aidan Ingram 15th from Christian Gillian. Scott Hunter on his return 17th. And the times are all disappearing very quickly. We're going to disappear for a minute because it's time for an ad break and then our podium.
I've had a lot of challenges in my life. and Helen was always there, supporting me through everything. Today, we're facing a new challenge. Helen has been diagnosed with a terrible disease. Dementia is nothing less than a worldwide epidemic. Formula One moves fast. By contrast, medical research can be painfully slow. We want to bring some of our Formula One technology into the laboratories. Our charity, Race Against Dementia, will help to accelerate the pace of dementia research. Let's beat dementia together.
Race 1 and third position after a frenetic race. There are never any easy VRRC races these days, and someone who can confirm that is Thomas Potter in third place. Well done, Thomas. How are you?
Well, brilliant after that. I mean, after my lap one, I wasn't really expecting a top three. Or
What
even
happened?
just the top three. Well, I went for a move on Daniel, then just clipped him, so I backed off. Made sure he kept my place, and unfortunately, Charlie got through on him. So, but I made sure to obviously give a place back. Then ended up losing me even more places. So after that, I was not expecting anything much. Then all of a sudden they started battling, and I managed to come through.
And it was a battle all the way, wasn't it? Because Alex Forster was there as well. We were saying that I'd love Alex to do some more VRRC racing, because he's a, like yourself, very talented young driver, and that just goes to prove it. Because I think a lot of people, Jack and Charlie, will come to them, I don't think are particularly keen on this circuit. So when drivers like yourself and Alex deliver here, it probably means a great deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, I'm one of those who's not too keen on the circuit. Just looking at somewhere, and no matter where my braking zone is, I mean, that was pure instinct. So, well, at least I'm going to do it on VRC before having to do it in real life in the Fiestas where I know braking zones. But yeah, incredible job by, well, everyone in the top three, but especially Alex Forrester. I know he's fourth place, but I think, was it last round when he almost got the podium again?
Yeah.
That was another repeat, but I definitely think this is a track where he's going to get a podium. To be honest, maybe even a win, because he was having the same pace as the top three, and well, obviously top five of Daniel as well, who was also incredibly rapid.
Yeah, he was going very well indeed, wasn't he? So yeah, good stuff from him. What's your week been like? I saw you at Silverstone and had all sorts of breakdown shenanigans or something on the way home, but you did get home in the end.
Brilliant and not so brilliant. Obviously, the breakdown where I didn't actually end up getting home till 4 a.m. where after, well, 2 hours I ended up having to be back up for school, so basically no sleep then, but still an obviously incredible week there at Silverstone for Kart Mania, which I can't wait for to go again next year, and hopefully with Vander's a breakdown then. But even better is a huge thanks to, I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong, Glenn, or Glenn, I don't know how you say it, sorry about that, but thanks for buying me my hands device, which is, well, going to keep me handy as well, going to keep me safe as well, so huge thanks for that. And as well as Boris from Marin Subsea, who gave me, I don't know if I'm going to say the number, but here it goes anyway, £5,000 going towards for Fiesta Juniors, so huge thanks to him for that. And well, I can't wait to put the money to some good use, so thanks to you guys, and obviously everyone else on my cart, the normal Kate and Marin, U5, Falcon Computers, more as the main ones are obviously the charities as well. Huge thanks to all yous, and can't wait to go on the Fiestas with you guys.
Look forward to that. Thomas, well done. We'll catch up with you a little bit later on. Thomas Potter in third place. Well done to our second place driver, Jack Smith. How are you this evening, Jack?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it was a good race. Yeah, I just got a little bit unlucky on the start. I was on the inside, and I didn't really want to try and battle with Charlie because there's so many people on that outside, and I thought it's not worth the penalty risk, so I just let him go. And then he got away, and I was like, ah, damn. And then, yeah, rest is history, really. So, yeah, it was all right race, though. I'm fairly happy. We just got to try and do a bit better in the next one.
That's good. And so, Rich Hayden was telling me that both you and Charlie don't like the track. What is it about the track that you don't like?
It's, I mean, it's not really got like a flow to it. Like most circuits have, like, you get into like this sort of flow where you can just keep lapping, and it's like you can do everything the same every lap. Whereas this track, you sort of have to really think, like properly think every single lap. because there's no like what Thomas said. There's not real. Some of the corners don't even have markers. It's like it's so it's just so alien. It's not even like a bit of tarmac you can relate to or anything like that. It's just the same everywhere. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. But yeah, it's just one of them. We can't be massively consistent like we normally are. So yeah, that's what we don't like. So yeah, no, it levels the playing field there, I feel. So yeah, that's always good.
I said in the commentary, it's a wonderful place to go and visit, and I'm sure if you had a test or something there for real, you'd love it and lap it up, because it is a really, really special place for the views and everything else that we get there, and it's just such a long way, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, and I was thinking this. I was like, I bet this is one of them tracks that if I drove it in real life, I'd love it. But on the sim, I just can't get my head around it. So yeah, no, I'm sure it's a lovely place. But yeah, on the sim, it's not up there for me. It's not up there for me.
Well, you might be saying differently at the end of the round, so if you get a couple of wins, which probably doable, then you might change your mind.
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, got 2 more races to go, so yeah, we just need a slightly better result than what we did there. I say better result was P2. I mean, a better race in general. Just a better execution of it because it was pretty poor at the start. And yeah, I followed Dan thinking he'd get through, and then got held up by Dan again, and then Charlie got away, and I was like, oh, it's all falling through. But yeah, no, it was fine. We didn't make any contact, which is ideal, and yeah, we just got through to the end of the race.
Oh, I see. Held up by Dan. He's defending. He's holding you up.
Yeah, I was hoping. In my head, I was like, he's faster. He's technically faster than me here, so I was hoping he'd catch Charlie, and then them two would battle, and then I managed to catch up to them and maybe take the win. But yeah, no, then he fell off a bit, and then I was like, no, I need to get past. I need to get past. So I was just like looking at the delta to Charlie the entire time. But yeah, no, it was a good crack. Dan's got like, I don't know where this pace has come from. Dan, he's so rapid, it's crazy. And yeah, it's just like the whole field's just level now. It's mental. So yeah, I think we've got 2 rounds here as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, the other one's on the coastal, so you've got the corkscrew.
Yeah.
So when you've gone up here, you then come back down through the corkscrew and down onto the main straight. So for Legends racing, generally I would say that the coastal circuit has always been the better of the 2. Okay. Back in the day, so when the Scottish visited a few years ago now, I think they ran the international circuit on Saturday, the coastal on day 2, but MS UK have changed things. They have to have separate permits, so try and raise more money, which is a bit of a pain to run on different configurations. Well, we can do it virtually, but you can't do it for real life without a loads more money sort of going in the coffers of MS UK, which I kind of understand because you've got to have cameras and all that sort of nonsense going on. But anyway, yeah, so slightly different for the other one, and it'd be interesting to get your reaction to that when we have our penultimate round here in a couple of weeks' time. But Jack, well done. Good to see you on the podium. And normally we get to talk to you more than once, so hopefully we'll catch up with you a bit later on.
Cheers, Richard.
That's Jack Smith in P2 and a maiden win in the VRRC Scottish Legends Cars Championship goes to Charlie Devlin. Charlie, well done. And I've got to say, about time, wasn't it? You really haven't had the luck that you should have had. That wasn't lucky though. That was pure skill coming through the traffic, fastest lap, pulled away, and nobody had an answer. Well done.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to win that race. Out of all the ones this season, I thought that was going to be my biggest struggle this season so far. Looking in practice, I was consistently 4 attempts off Jack, Daniel, Thomas, so I was really just hoping to maximise points coming into this, and then obviously going into that race, I don't know, I found magically 3 attempts with the same start with the same points. So whatever happened that race, I'm doing it again. So yeah, out of all the tracks this season, I did not expect to be winning this one.
That's the beauty of racing though, isn't it? That you can have things like that happen.
Yeah, I guess obviously you go to people prefer different types of tracks, so yeah, the different tracks suit different driving style, I guess. So obviously Daniel's quick around here, maybe we're quicker than him around other places, but yeah, it's just personal preference in a way. And yeah, good race that.
What have you been up to in the week? Anything interesting, or just studies?
Just college work really. I went out with my nan and granddad today, which was nice. And then on Friday this week, I've got something in real life racing planned as well, so that's going to be exciting.
Okay, well maybe tell us about that a little bit later on if you're able to. But we've got a countdown to the next race on, so we'll let you get away, Charlie. But many congratulations on a super win, and good luck for races 2 and 3.
Thank you.
So that's our top 3. Thomas Potter third, Jack Smith in second position, Charlie Devlin, race winner at long last. I say long last, only the third event, and he's been on the podium consistently in second in the championship. As we now turn our attentions to race 2, and the cars are on the grid, ready to go with Lee Pearcey starting on pole position, and Craig Curtis alongside Chris Blakey and Catherine Potter on row 2. From Oliver Gibson and Rich Hayden find themselves near the front in the partially reversed grid. Lights are out now, and away we go. Good luck, everybody. It's down towards turn 1, the left-hander here, and it's Lee Pearcey that gets the best start away from Craig Curtis. Chris Blakey in P3 at the moment from Oliver Gibson. Oliver's due a podium, isn't he? I haven't seen him for a while, but he's been relegated by Rich Hayden, who then proceeds. We've got cars off, and I think Rich Hayden, one of those who dropped down the order by running wide on turn 1. They're down at Church now for the first time, and it's Lee Pearcey out front. Is Lee Pearcey here going to do a Charlie Devlin and just get away from everyone? I'll say the answer to that, Becky, at the moment is probably no, because Craig and Chris are taking the battle right to him as they go up in towards Rocket.
Yeah, I was going to say the ones behind aren't letting that happen. So Lee's got a little bit wide there. So Chris is going around the outside, hoping to maybe pick up that position, with Ollie actually doing quite well after probably not a very good first race from Ollie from what we normally see of him. So he's probably feel a bit better being up at the front at the start of this one, and hopefully be able to fight till the end. But Daniel Heaps again, he's back up in there. He's P4, so he's definitely one to watch. Some retributions ready for this race after last one and missing out from maybe a bit of an over-eager move in the last race. So he will be wise to that this time, and hopefully going to rectify it and get on the podium. So definitely one to watch till Heaps there. And as Thomas has already mentioned as well, Alex is one to watch. He's in P7 at the moment, so he'll be pushing to try to catch up to this lead group at the moment to see where he can come out at the end of it.
Daniel Heaps trying the outside line here on Craig Curtis, can't quite do it as he went around the final turn. Same for turn 1, but I'll tell you what, you can't fault him for effort. And here we ride our first on board with Dan Heaps. He's in P4 at the moment. It's Pearcey, Gibson and Curtis, the podium runners at the moment. So Dan Heaps looking to try and get on the podium. Scott Butler's come through as well. He's in 5th position from Alex Forster, with Cat Potter in 7th, Rich Hayden 8th, Caden Cook 9th, Aidan Ingram in 10th. Hope Aidan can hang on. It'd be lovely to see Aidan up in the top 10 as they go through Gaul. And you can see the little runoff road there around to the right is the one of the training circuits that they use here for ARDS testing and things like that. And Daniel Heaps slices through, gets through into P3. So Heaps now is on a potential podium. Pearcey under pressure from Oliver Gibson. So we've got a battle for the lead. Good scrap going on for 3rd place as well. Scott Bugner 5th from Alex Forster. Forster trying to close in. Then it's Rich Hayden and Cat Potter. Lap 2 of 10. And Pearcey under pressure from Oliver Gibson, who looks like he's working the lines here as hard as he can now along the Tom Price straight. Big braking zone at the end of this, but this is a very, very long stretch. He's got his nose in front, so more than an overlap. But the key thing is the inside run into the hairpin at the end of the Tom Price straight, which is also going to allow Daniel Heaps to come up and play as well, as Lee Pearcey and Oliver Gibson battle, slow each other up. Now downhill on the original circuit, start-finish straight, into the left-hander and onto the current straight, and it's Lee Pearcey soaking up the pressure at the moment from Oliver Gibson. They'll need to get a move on. Craig Curtis looking handy as well in 4th place, with Scott Bugner still in 5th trying to close in on them. But this battle for the lead is going to be, I think, expanding to be a 3 if not 4 car battle very soon.
Yeah, they're only bringing the other two into it, so Lee and Ollie might want to think, actually, let's just try to get a bit more space between us before we start battling too hard. Gaps opened up just a little bit, but Ollie will just be biding his time, working out where to go for a move where there's not maybe any line that Lee can go for on the next corner. So it's all about just timing at the moment, and not then losing too much time to then get Daniel and Craig, who are close behind, gaining on them too much. But hopefully they'll be hoping they'll get into the tussle for fighting for P3, so it will give them a bit of breathing space. As we've got Scott and Alex not too far off behind either, so it's all very quick to change as soon as you get a bit of a battle going on. And like I said earlier, it seems to be the turn of these cars is so strong. You saw them with the previous lap with Ollie behind Lee, and then also alongside, and then Nose just in front, but just couldn't make that move happen because Lee had the inside. So it's all about just positioning your car in the right place. As long as you can kind of maintain that corner, make the most out of it, and gain the most coming out, you can probably hunt that position. But it is very close with our top four, especially at the moment.
It is very close, isn't it? And we've still got 6 laps of this to go. I'm going to give a shout out to the man that runs the Scottish Legends Cars Championship, Andrew Don. I'm pretty sure Andrew won one of the Winter Championship races here at Anglesey a few years ago. He's certainly, won races in his career, but I'm fairly sure he actually won on an away day. We were talking last week about the likes of Dave Newsham, who'd come in and won at Croft, and Carol Brown, of course, who won so many at Knockhill over the years. But this is one I think that Andrew Donald did actually win at. I stand to be corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure he won one of the Winter Championship races here, which would have been aided, or the grid would have been bolstered with national runners as well. So not an easy thing to do when you've got the national runners with the Scottish together. The other point I was going to make here is that Daniel Heap's in 3rd place. If we were racing on track for real, this would be the nearest thing to a home round for him, because obviously we're just down from Holyhead, which is where you would cross over from his native Ireland, as Lee Pearcey runs wide, but has got the inside run as they head down into the first part of the corkscrew, then onto the Tom Price straight. And again, see, Lee Pearcey's got his line sussed out here. He knows that he just needs to hang on to the inside here, as long as he's got enough momentum to not have the knee. He has, look at that, he's got the line, and he's going to be challenged again on the inside. But again, the run downhill here means that if he can get up the right hand side, it's going to be the outside for the next corner, which is difficult for Oliver Gibson, but Ollie's going to have a go anyway, because he's seen Dan Heaps make some moves around the outside, and he goes very, very deep indeed. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he can, but Daniel Heaps going to have a look up the inside. I was about to say that Dan Heaps, the black car coming into picture here, we could have had a Mondello round, but it wouldn't really have been that authentic for Scottish Legends. I don't think the Scots have had an away day at Mondello, but this is effectively a home round for Dan. It's the nearest track to where he lives, and he's up into P2, and he is going to want to have a go now at Lee Pearcey, our race leader.
Yeah, see if Dan could get Lee on an overtake. It seems that at the moment Lee seems a lot more confident on his brakes, especially as we come up to the hairpins. He seems very late on those brakes, and as you see, I've seen Ollie gaining, and all of a sudden alongside and just slightly in front, Lee's very late, and it's like, no, I'm still going to make this corner even if I'm braking way later. And then he goes a little bit wide there. Sorry, Lee. That again, just you as Daniel takes the lead. So yeah, great sort of move there, keeping out of trouble and seeing where the opportunity arises to get through and not be collected by a car coming back on track. So unfortunate there for Lee, as Ollie probably senses the weakness now as well, so he'll be ready to pounce. Craig had dropped back a bit as well, and is now back in the battle. So and like I keep saying, Scott and Alex aren't too far behind in the background, so the more these kind of keep arguing away, it just brings them into play as well.
It's good stuff, isn't it? Dan Heaps out of the top 6, 7 drivers is the only one that has won a race previously in this series. I know we're only on the 3rd event, but interesting to look at the stats, and he's pulling away here 1.41 seconds from Lee Pearcey in P2. I don't think we've had a Lee podium yet. Yes, we have. Was it round 1, or was that the end of the last year? I'll tell you what, I'm losing the plot here in terms of who's been where. Let's have a quick look at Lee Pearcey. He hasn't had a podium here yet. I was thinking it was the end of the previous championship that we had, so it'd be good to see Lee on the podium. Always good to see new drivers coming on. Scott Bugner not that far away as well. So Scott beginning to try and reel them in. Alex Forster is in 6th. Charlie Devlin, the race 1 winner, is down in 8th. And I think we must have had an issue for Jack Smith, who is in 11th place at the minute. So Jack sort of underlining his dislike for this circuit. Oliver Gibson now into P2. So Ollie in P2, but again, that's about to change as Lee Pearcey gets the inside as he goes into the Rocket Complex. and Lee Pearcey, a little bit of a clatter with Oliver Gibson as they come through the complex, and this is going to allow Craig Curtis to close in as well. Scott Bugner might fancy a little bit of action as well, not too far behind as well, and we've still got 5 laps to go, including this one with Daniel Heaps 1.7 seconds clear. Fastest lap of the race, unsurprisingly perhaps, is with Charlie Devlin down in 8th. So Devlin still with the pace, and I think probably, you know, typically what legends do in the real world is look at their results over the 3 races, exactly like VRRC. We have a round winner each event, and it's the driver with the most points from that, and I think Charlie Devlin will be looking for that. Obviously wants to be higher up in this race as the battle continues for P2, on board with Craig Curtis. And again, Oliver Gibson, he's not shying away from that outside run. He's going to be able to do a dummy and maybe get some momentum and go down the inside. That's covered by Lee Pearcey in P2. Up to turn 1 they go. Craig Curtis really putting on a good showing here as well. Craig, who wasn't with us at Croft, but had 2 top 10 finishes in the opening round at Knockhill, now looks down the inside of the pair of them here. Wonderful stuff from Craig Curtis, who's trying to get up into P2. I think he might get 3rd here as they head down into Church Corner, and it's Oliver Gibson hanging it out on the outside run. Gets a little bit of opposite lock. That all came to nothing for Craig Curtis, but momentarily was up in 3rd place. And this is bringing maybe Scott Bugner a little bit closer to this trio. And really good news for Daniel Heaps, who's away and down the road. There's a lunge up the inside as he goes to rocket from Craig Curtis, who spins around, manages to get going again, but it all went pear-shaped for him, and Oliver Gibson, who's down to 5th. And I said that Scott Bugner was in with a shout here of getting up towards the podium. That wasn't how we expected that to happen, but happened nonetheless. It did.
Yeah, I think after that move, that Craig thought, I've got 2 for the price of 1 here, and then they just seemed to pull away again, so decided to try to cut up the inside of the next corner and quite an aggressive move there to try to get that done. Unfortunately made some contact, so yeah, it's brought everybody else into play, which is nice and exciting, but it does seem to have caused the 3 that we were watching before, the Lee, Craig and Ollie, to have lost a bit of momentum in that, of obviously either trying to avoid crashing into each other and obviously avoid the kind of any damage or taking each other off, and then it's brought Scott and Alex into it. So Lee's managed to just about keep ahead and out of trouble, but we've now got Scott up into 3rd.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Scott on the podium. Well, any of these drivers actually on the podium as well. But that incident going into Rocket, that is so typical, because that gap, if there's a gap on the inside as the drivers take a wide line into the left-hander going up into Rocket, that gap can be so tantalising for drivers to come through, and I've seen it so many times, not just in Legends, but Tom's Potter, close your ears, happens in Fiesta racing as well, and he might need that big check that he's been given for damage, because similar things could happen for real next year when the VRRC Fiesta Juniors are here. That's going to be a super weekend. Really looking forward to that if we can get a chance to work on it. I think they're on with the Fun Cup package next year, which will be good. Still side-by-side stuff going on here with Alex Forster trying to get around Scott Bugner. Craig Curtis has worked his way back up into 3rd place. Whether that's going to be provisional with the contact and judicials remains to be seen. But Alex Forster, tell you what, Alex Forster here could well be on for top point scorer on races 1 and 2. He's going to find himself right at the very back if that is the case for race 3, but scoring really well, and you know, possibly in line for driver of the round again. He's dicing with Oliver Gibson. Daniel Heaps still out front from Lee Pearcey, who has weathered so much, Becky, to hang on to P2, with Craig Curtis in 3rd.
Yeah, some great driving from Alex, of just being able to keep out of trouble, kind of keep with the consistent points as well. And like I say, sometimes that's better. As much as you want podiums, it's about getting as many points as you can across the evening, to make sure you're adding to your tally at the end of the championship. So it's not always about all the wins. Sometimes it's just getting good results in, which Alex has been doing this evening. We did have a spin from Charlie in the last sort of lap. He was getting on Rich and it was on his bumper and had a spin, so he's dropped back. I don't actually know if he's dropped off the... Oh no, he is still there. I think the timing screw's having a bit of a sort out, so he's still in P8, but has dropped. He was, like I say, on Rich's bumper and has obviously got a bit of a gap now, so there's probably ruined his kind of chances of progressing up with only obviously a lap left to go. But obviously you've got to go for moves when you can, as we've got some fighting going on at the front for trying to get last. As we've got a spin from Alex Forster. Luckily, I suppose he lost the position, but didn't lose too much time and is able to keep going on his track. So that was unfortunate there. I don't know if there was a bit of contact there, caused him to go around maybe with Scott Bugner, and then whether he was clipped by Ollie as well. So whether it was any one of their faults or it might be his tyres might have been a little bit shot now by the way he's spinning now, just a bit unsettled.
I'm just sort of throwing paper around on my desk at the moment, trying to work out when the last time Craig Curtis was in a podium position on a race that I commentated in. I think it might have been the World Touring Car race at the beginning of the year, which is a fair while ago. I'm sure Craig may well remember. But early doors yet. I don't want to put the curse of the commentator on him because we are on the last lap, but he's in third place with Scott Bugner fourth, Ollie Gibson in fifth place. Daniel Heap still the leader by 3.89 seconds. So Daniel looking good here to get his second win of the campaign, having won race 2 last time out at Croft. There he is. This has been a super race from Daniel Heaps. Charlie Devlin down in 11th still with the fastest lap of the race. So, and again, this has been, I've got to say, a fairly typical Legends race, and this is why we have reverse grid racing, to give you different people on the podium, different people getting a shout up front. And you know, when we've got a totally different podium to race 1, that's what Legends cars racing is all about, particularly the Scottish variation of Legends. And it's Daniel Heaps here who will head up towards Peel for the last time. Very well clear. Lee Piercy in P2, third position Craig Curtis, Scott Bugner trying to close down. But Becky, I've got to say, without wanting to put the curse of the commentator on anyone, top 4 looking fairly settled.
Yes. Again, a good lead. So unless something drastically goes wrong, Daniel's done really good this race. And again, Larry's he was up there, and unfortunately, it was just towards the end a little bit of a mistake, and he lost out on the podium. So it may be another potential driver that could be up there for a driver of the round if he has another good performance in the next race. But obviously he's probably going to be starting quite far back. But yeah, as soon as he got into the lead, he's been quite comfortable out there.
Yeah, and we get the traditional little bit of showboating there from I do love a bit of Daniel Heaps showboating, and the great thing about that is that I would do donuts virtually as well. That would be quite good to see as well. You can't do it for real because you get fined, but Daniel Heaps takes the win. Well done, Daniel. Lee Piercy in second place. Now Scott Bugner showing in third on the timing tower with Craig Curtis in fourth, but on my timing it's showing the other way round. Craig Curtis in third place. So if somebody can confirm which one it actually is before we get to the podium interviews, that would be good. So it's Heaps from Piercy and Curtis on my timing screen, but Scott Bugner showing P3, and I didn't follow them across the line, sadly. Oliver Gibson next up from Jack Smith and Kat Potter in 7th. Great stuff from Catherine. Caden Cook in 8th. Again, good stuff from Caden as well. Thomas Potter 9th. And then Charlie Devlin. 11th, Chris Blakey from Christian Gillian. Harry Irvin 13th. Good result for Harry. His best finish was 7th in race 1 at Knockhill. And then, time's disappearing very quickly because the mathematics are being done to sort out the grid for the final, which we will have in a few minutes for you. First of all, though, a very quick break, and then our second podium interview. Welcome back, everybody. Second podium interviews of the evening, and great to welcome up to the Legends podium, Scott Bugner. How are you finding the Legends, Scott? Well, by the way.
Thank you very much. A lot harder than I thought. Obviously, I front wheel drive, so jumping into a really, really loose and fun rear wheel drive car has taken a little while, and I'm still not there. But yeah, they put on some good racing. I know that.
Yeah, we've had a few. So I think in the National Legends, there have been a few drivers have moved over from MGs into Legends and have done okay. So I guess the skills are transferable. And I've got to say, I know you do prefer front wheel drive, but your consistency has been absolutely mega. I mean, 4th position in both of the rounds, and now first time on the podium, which says to me that you're really learning the car and getting to grips with it.
I'm getting there, but it's it's taken a little longer than I thought it was going to. But I just quite enjoy them. As much as I don't like rear wheel drive, they're quite fun to drive, and you're sideways all the time, and the racing's close, and the slipstream is good, so it does put on for some good racing.
And really good stuff as well in the closing stages. The timing screens that I were looking at were confused, but it was, I think, a hair's breadth. Someone said that you got that P3, so good racing.
Yeah, I mean, I owed Craig a door bang because he'd done it to me going into the turn 3 or 4. So I lined him up on that last corner, and I thought, wait for him to brake, count to 1, and then go. And I did, and I was just like, well, you left the gap, so I'm going for it. So, yeah, it's 1-1 now, so we'll call it quits. But, yeah, I shouldn't really be racing tonight. It's me, mine and my missus' second year anniversary, but she's letting me do it. So I bought her a curry for dinner, so hopefully I'm out the doghouse.
That's fair enough. Oh, happy anniversary to both of you, and there's nothing wrong with doing what you enjoy in terms of racing. I'm sure she's got dibs on the rest of the week, though, and probably the weekend.
Yeah, she's probably listening as well, so she's going to say, do you remember when Richard said that on the stream? And I go, yeah. So,
yeah, just so Richard gets it wrong all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I'm usually wrong, Scott, but are you doing much for, obviously, building for next year again, I guess, as well now?
Yeah, car's in the body shop at the minute, getting all the bodywork straightened, and it's getting repainted. I think the suspension is going to be sent off next week or the week after to go and get serviced and bits and bobs, and then the engine will be rebuilt in January, hopefully, and then ready to go for February for a couple of test days.
That's good. Keeps you out of mischief, doesn't it, I suppose?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Well, good to have you on the podium, mate. Very well done, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again very soon. If not tonight, then either Oulton, Anglesey here again, or Knockhill. Scott Bugner in 3rd place. Well done.
Thank you very much.
2nd position, a completely different podium, which is what we VRRC, is Lee Piercy. First chat with Lee for a little while. I've got to say, Becky didn't want to do any interviews, and probably because I think she put the kibosh on you at that stage. But she was saying how well you were doing, and then there was an incident, and you went back, and then you came back forward and got into P2 again. A little bit of a topsy-turvy race. How was it from your side of things?
Yeah, I don't think it was Becky's fault. I think it was just more myself trying to make it difficult for myself.
Put the blame straight on me.
I was like, 1 minute I had a gap on Ollie, and I was like, just go. And then I'd make a mistake, and then he'd be back on me, and then I'd go again, and then I'd make another mistake, and I was just like, what are you doing? It just, yeah, it's easy in these to make a mistake, and then Daniel slipped past us, and then I could even see him making mistakes, and then I kept making mistakes. I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. But I think he had a temp on me, but annoyingly we actually had some good pace in that if I could keep it on the track. But yeah, so I felt sorry for Ollie. I did apologise. I was like a rolling roadblock at one point for him, but once I calmed down, it was not too bad. So, but I'm gonna blame it. I got man flu, so I'm gonna blame it on that. So. Oh
dear, that's not good. Let him sip or hot toddy later on. Yeah.
So I need one of Scott's curries, I think, sent down so we can.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good shout. Blow the tubes out a little bit. That was good defend. I thought there was some good defending going on because you're making Ollie work and go around the outside, which he couldn't do. And then when he got to go, you knew where the corners or you knew where to cover. So it was good defensive stuff to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I was using my age and experience, just try not to slow us down too much, but just putting the car in an awkward position for him. So it was yeah, without that being too defensive. So he said it was all good fun. So and you look in the mirrors and there's just a queue of other drivers that you just think, oh, I just don't want them behind me either. So no, it's good fun. I say they are hard work, but good fun, these cars. So.
Is it harder work than, say, GT4? Because we look at, obviously you came out of the GT4 series, which is, I was trying to rack in my brains to think when I last spoke to Craig Curtis, when I last spoke to you, and you got podiums in the GT Championship in the BMWs, and you kind of go from, I'm guessing those cars are that much easier to drive, but then you got something like Legends, which is, many people would see, it's not down the ladder, but it's more of a challenge.
No, I honestly, since I used to do go-karting, and one of these was used at, I think it was the European or World Championships, and it was all covered and sponsored by Elf. I've loved these cars since I was like a teenager, and I would race one of these tomorrow if I could in real life. But yeah, they're very different. You are working hard, really hard, to keep them in a straight line. So yeah, it's I could probably do with a round wheel. I'm still playing with like a Formula wheel. So when you're on full lock, you are worried about the thumbs. So it's,
okay, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's all good. They are good.
Get yourself go and talk to Harry Irvin, who's on the group, and he looks after the Scottish Legends school.
Yeah, it might cost
up there.
me money, that conversation. I better not.
Well, it probably be cheaper. Probably be cheaper than you think. The Scottish Legends really will. Have a chat with him anyway. That's why we're here. Lee, well done. Great to talk to you on the podium. I'm conscious of time running out, so congratulations on P2. Lovely to catch up with Lee Pearcey again. And our winner, Daniel Heap, second winner of the championship. Happy birthday for you, and a belated celebration and a nice present for us.
Thanks a lot, Richard. That was a crazy race at the start. Just saw Lee Pearcey going off. I didn't think I was going to catch him at the start because they were just staying in the same place. I was like, what's going on here? So they all stayed in the same place. Then they started making a few mistakes, and I was making a few mistakes. Then eventually I managed to get by them, and I saw Lee Pearcey go off, and I was like, get in. I can actually get past.
Really good. So what did you do for your birthday, by the way?
Just went out for a bit of dinner. I did down to Tree Brothers in Crumlin. Oh, yeah, it was nice. It was good food.
All right. Crumlin, is Crumlin Northern Ireland or is that Southern Ireland?
No, that's South Dublin. That is.
Got you. Okay, it's getting me geography muddled up. So you had a good one anyway, and it's a good way to extend the celebrations by grabbing another win. And he was unlucky in race 1 as well.
Yeah, I was sick when that happened. I was going by Thomas, and I was just like, okay, this is about to be a serious move. Then, yeah, whatever happened, just went straight off.
Anyway, you got the win, which is really good, Daniel. I think we're getting the countdown towards the next race, so I'm going to let you get away and get ready in case you need to refuel or anything. But many congratulations on the win, and the very best of luck for race 3.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Daniel Heaps, our race winner. Second position, and third position going to Scott Bugner in that one. Becky, it sets us up for a nice finale. These evenings go very quickly, don't they? The Scottish Legends ones, more so. I know, so they probably would go a little bit quicker, but very enjoyable so far.
I think, like you say, because they're so enjoyable, so much seems to happen as well in these races. It just flies by, and then it's almost, I know, like with the first week when we went back to the drive and thought, well, what happened here? And they're like, honestly, I can't tell you. It's kind of so much has happened in such a short race. It's action packed because again, the cars are all obviously set up, which makes for most of the racing, which again I think is why we get such full grids for these races and these championships, because it means you don't have to worry too much about it. You can literally turn your sim on, get in and go. And it's all fairly even amongst the drivers. It's not too much of a difference of the car. So it's great. So I'm sure this one will be exactly the same.
I'm sure it will be the same. The difference, though, for Legends is that, and for VRRC, is that we've got Jack Smith mid-grid in a reverse grid, which is very unusual for a total reverse. Didn't have the rub of the green in race number 1. Alex Forster gets away well, and Alex, who scored very well indeed over the 2 races, so a decent start from him. Paul Laramie in second place, Jack Dickerson next up. One car going a little bit wide, But other than that, all behaving themselves. Is this where we get the rocket complex sorted out with the total reverse grid race? Andy Carroll having a look around the outside as well of Jack Dickerson. Kian Haig momentarily in fifth, drops down to sixth behind Scott Hunter. It'd be great to see Scott up there and maybe get a podium. I think that's Rich Hayden going across the grass and dropping down into 17th. No, 18th place as Alex Forster leads them into. And this is why it is so crowded here as they go into the rocket complex. And this is really the big sort out, but it's Alex Forster clear at the moment from Paul Laramie and Andy Carroll. Jack Dixon and Scott Hunter next up. Charlie Devlin is already up into 5th place, but remember he as well was not right at the back in this one, Charlie Devlin. Jack Smith is right behind him, so we might have the battle of the top 2 drivers in the championship. You can see the yellow and blue car coming down the hill at the moment. Busy chasing him. We've got Thomas Potter in the mix as well in 8th place from Chris Blakey. Harry Irvin goes past Blakey. So Harry up into 7th. Again, love to see Harry get a top 10 and maybe improve on his 7th place at Knockhill. There is Charlie Devlin having a look at trying to make up a position here in the mystery machine. Big sort outs going on. Alex Forster, the race leader, comes down into the left-hander to wrap up the first lap here. Paul Laramie in P2 and then Andy Carroll in 3rd. Charlie Devlin already up into 4th place after 1 lap.
A bit of a sort out in first lap as you predicted and saw it unfolded, so pleased it settled back down. Richard, a lot of off-roading this week, I must admit, and it was all that's leap here, and I couldn't work out who the other car was as it was tumbling through the air. So I'm going to say that car might be a bit damaged. It probably will retire to the pits because obviously there is damage on these cars. So whether it continues or not, we'll see as we've got Charlie Devlin closing in now on Paul Laramie and I'm not far behind. So there must have been a in there because Charlie was 4th, so he's managed to get back Andy because Andy was chasing after Paul. So a bit of a sort out there as we've got Jack Smith coming up the field as well. So yeah, not the best race for him. Last race out, couldn't seem to get through the grid last. So he's probably feeling a bit better being mid-pack. And it sounds horrible to say, but it's good to get with Jack saying he doesn't like this track actually, and kind of struggled with it because we was like, oh no, I don't like this track, but still got P2 in the first race. The same with Charlie. So
yeah,
considering they don't like these tracks, they still put on really good performance, don't they?
They do, they're always going to be, the cliche is the cream always rises to the top, doesn't it, is the phrase. But I think, what Jack was saying about he can't get a flow on this circuit, and to my mind, that's great, because you don't want to see drivers just sort of flying around doing the same line following each other. You want to see drivers making mistakes, you have to think about the corners. Certainly as a commentator, that's what you want to see. Charlie Devlin P2, Paul Laramie P3 at the moment. Andy Carroll is next up. Alex Forster out front. Are we going to see a 3rd different winner for this round? He is being chased though by Charlie Devlin. Just got to refresh my screen. Devlin fastest lap with Jack Smith at the moment, back at 5th place. So Jack is getting to grips with this and up into P4 now ahead of Andy Carroll as Charlie Devlin tries to hunt down Alex Forster out front. We're going to see an Alex Forster podium potentially in this one. Slightly longer race, as is the norm with Scottish Legends cars racing, with the 2 shorter races often being referred to as heats, and then race 3 sometimes referred to as the final, which kind of rubs against the grain with me calling it a final, because the trophy always goes to the driver who in real life has got the most points over the 3 races. So I tend to call it races 1, 2 and 3 rather than 1, 2 and final, but that's just semantics really. I won't get too hung up on that in this one. We're quarter distance on this one. Alex Forster the leader. There is Charlie Devlin in P2 going through shot. Up into 3rd is Jack Smith. So I think we're going to have some podium repetition here by the look of it, Becky. Not a bad thing. We tend to expect that on VRRC from time to time, but we have had a little bit of a refresh, haven't we, with race 2?
Yeah, we'll see if Alex can hold out in front. Obviously, he's shown some really good pace these past couple of races, and actually the championship so far. So he'll be hoping he can hold on. But Charlie is closing that gap, just etching closer and closer each kind of time that timing updates. Again, he's still setting the fastest lap, so we probably will see a battle between Charlie and Alex before the end. Jack will be probably closing in as well. Thomas is trying to make his his way up the road as well as he's to get past Andy Carroll, who's going for the outside line, dropping back a bit, hopefully going to get a bit more drive out this corner. I think as we tend to approach the Rocket, the first part of the Rocket complex, I was on the sim, I found that corner, like Jack says, that corner especially just seems to break your momentum, because I think you always expect it to be a bit more of a sweeping one. It's quite a tight corner, so as you come up that hill, as we're coming up now, it all of a sudden you're turning, you're like, oh, actually no, I need to turn way more than I was expecting. As we had a bit of a touch there, managed to keep it all together from Thomas. I don't know if
a bit of a touch.
a bit of a touch, only a slight one. It's fine. Luckily everybody's still on track. Andy obviously a bit shunted off to the side a little bit there, so I'm sure we'll see if he just hold a bit and lets off, but again he looks like he's going after Paul. He's wanting to get the positions made, and then if there are any penalties to come, he'll deal with that at a later date.
Yeah, one thing, Thomas always takes the medicine, doesn't he? When he's had penalties in the past, he never gripes or groans about it. He just goes again, which is the key thing that you have to do. And Thomas and Paul having a really good race here. Alex Forster, the gap down to 1.6 seconds from Charlie Devlin. Jack Smith still in the mix as well. Good stuff from Scott Bugner, again in 4th place here. So Scott running well. There's contact. Paul Laramie on the back end of Thomas Potter, but that unsettles Paul Laramie's car, and he drops down to the base of the top 10 behind Rich Hayden. So disappointment for Paul Laramie. But Thomas is free now to try and have a go, metaphorically, at Scott Bugner for P4 if he can close in. We've got Andy Carroll and Daniel Heaps coming through as well. Daniel Heaps just trying to have a nibble up the inside, gets on the back bumper of that car in front. There's usually a few of those go for a Burton in Legends Cars racing, I can tell you, as that battle continues. 1.3 is the gap now. Forster to Devlin. Jack Smith with fastest lap in 3rd from Scott Bugner. And we need to start to think about, I think Becky's already thinking about driver of the round, because I can see that Becky is typing on the chat group that we've got. And I have to agree with what Becky's put in the mix as well. But we're not going to tell you that, because it's a trade secret until we get to driver of the round at the end, as we catch up again with Lee Pearcey. He's had a good run as well, Lee, here in race 3. And what we were saying about, Lee said he'd love to have a go in the cars. Very definitely. Anybody watching this, anybody watching it back, if you're racing in it, go and talk to Harry Irvin and the Scottish Legends Cars team headed by Andrew Donald and Harry. They will look after you. Just go up and have a little run, have a talk to them. When we've got Glenn Burtonshaw, if you've seen the Glenn Burtonshaw documentary, which is on YouTube, if you haven't seen it, do watch it. It's a great piece that Harry's put together. And Glenn comes from Sussex, and he says that it's actually better than most national racing. I don't mean national legends racing, but any other national racing you can do, because he can fly up to Knockhill, he can actually do the meeting and get back home and having a cup of tea and watching whatever it is you watch on Sunday night earlier than you would do racing nationally, and it's cheaper to go up there and do it. So if you want to have a go at Legends, talk to Andrew Donald, talk to Harry Irvin about getting involved with Scottish Legends, and have a test drive, get into a team car, do whatever, have a go. Please come and play with them, because they're great people. And this is great racing here. Andy Carroll and Rich Hayden dicing it out with Lee Pearcey ahead of them. Alex Forster now the gap down to 0.46 seconds out front, with Jack Smith in 3rd. Daniel Heaps down in 12th now behind Craig Curtis. So Daniel having a little bit of a struggle. We've really, I think, failed to see any real consistency from people over the 3 races here. Alex Forster's been very good, so might be in contention for driver of the round again. 2 on the bounce hasn't been done for a while, but he's under pressure. Charlie Devlin now is the man taking the battle to him. Out of Peel Corner they come, down the hill into the first part of the corkscrew and onto the Tom Price straight. The international circuit is the sort of isosceles triangle part that they're going up to now. And it's Alex Forster. He'll be looking in his virtual mirrors. He'll know that it is only Charlie Devlin putting him under pressure at the moment. I say only, and I mean only as in, yeah, he's a threat, but only because he hasn't got Jack Smith behind him at the moment. At least not immediately in the mirrors. So he's got just the 1 car to deal with rather than 2. Jack Smith trying to close up as they come down into the half distance now. That was the last. This is half distance, lap 6. So they're across the line now, and Forster hangs on in lead position, and it's the Mystery Machine busy chasing him through the left-hander at turn 1, and you can see Devlin using different lines here. It's going to be a double win for Charlie Devlin. Maybe take the round points as well. Drifting the car beautifully there. And looking to try and get a good run as they climb up the hill once again. Forster under pressure. Are we going to see a move into the complex here?
Just still holding on there. He's doing well to defend against Charlie because he's all over him, isn't he? As he pulls to the side, is he going to manage to get this move done here? Alex is not going to let it go easily. He's been leading very comfortably from the beginning, but we've got just done half the race to be able to for them to fight back and forth and keep swapping positions back and forth. I'm sure probably during the rest of the laps that we've got remaining. But yeah, just be mindful that Jack's not too far off in distance at the moment. So Alex just having to concede for the moment into P2, but I'm sure he's going to keep going. They've just been swapping kind of fastest laps amongst themselves. So very, very close between these two. So hopefully it will lead to exciting final laps of this race for us.
Fingers crossed that it does, Becky, indeed. That was a lovely move by Charlie Devlin. He thought about that so early, probably earlier than even turn 2, coming out of the banking, and just took that wide line and got as much momentum as he could to go up the hill. Saw the gap on the inside, but fair play to Alex Forster as well for not blocking him, not going across on him. You know, I've seen many races here, not in Legends, but in other formulae where drivers go for the move of the inside and the driver on the outside going into the left-hander at the top of the hill there. Claim they don't see the car coming up and it ends in tears, but that was a lovely bit of racing between the pair of them. Charlie Devlin clearly had the momentum and the pace and went through. Alex Forster knew that. And as a result, Alex is still in second place. None too shabby for him. Possibly on for a first podium of the campaign, even with Jack Smith trying to close down on him now. So Jack 1.4 seconds down. It's Scott Bugner in fourth again. Really consistent, Scott Bugner. I think Scott underestimates himself, Becky, as a driver in terms of rear-wheel drive. We know he's quick in front-wheel drive from what I've seen him do in MGs, but I think he's wrong to underestimate what he can do in rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, he's had a really good evening this evening. I think the worst position that he's had this evening was 6th, and then he's on the podium last time, and he's in 4th at the moment and holding his own. He's got Thomas behind him, which isn't necessarily an easy driver to hold off. So to be able to make your car wide enough to prevent Thomas from squeezing past, he's definitely been. Yeah, like you say, he prefers the front wheel drive. He seems to be enjoying this one a little bit more.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. He's doing a real good job in this. As I tell you what, Alex Forster not being left, is he, by Charlie Devlin at the moment? Charlie driving strongly. Quick look back at the times. Charlie with the fastest lap, but I wonder if he's going to maybe start to back off as we get into the closing stages of this one. And is he going to make it 2 wins? Like buses, really. Doesn't get to win the first 2 events, but then on for a double here on Anglesey, a circuit that I say a lot of the drivers don't like, and to my mind that makes it all the more challenging and all the better to watch and see how the drivers adapt and learn and use that learning over the course of the 3 races, which has been good to see. As you said, Becky, earlier on, you do see the classy drivers continue to do well, whether it's Charlie, whether it's Jack, Scott Bugner, Thomas Potter's up there again, Lee Pearcey's been consistent. We have seen that all the way through this series so far. Wondering whether we're going to get another change. It's difficult to overtake here in the Legends cars. Difficult to catch as well, but that's what Jack Smith is doing on Alex Forster at the moment. So Jack working so hard. Different sort of workout to what he had last week at Croft. By Charlie Devlin, 1.27 seconds clear. Devlin's last lap, 1 minute 40. Jack Smith's last lap, 1 minute 39. So Smith quicker, but still not with the fastest lap, but quicker than the race leader. But a huge gap to have to close up. As we say, when we're back here in 2 weeks' time, we're running on the coastal circuit. When you go downhill, the shot that we just saw, you can see the cones just about centre shot there. That's where you go on the shorter coastal circuit, as it's known here. And then there's the school circuit as well. I'm pretty sure you can run 2 different layouts on the same day here. So if they had a huge number of people coming into the race school, I think they can actually run 2 different circuits on the same day. I'm not quite sure whether insurance-wise that's a good thing, because they are in relatively close proximity. They are different ones that you can see in the coned area offer that we've got there. as we watch Thomas Potter trying to close down on Scott Bugner. So Thomas trying to depose Scott from 4th place in this one. Thomas has been consistent as well, but one podium so far. But decent points and bangs into Scott Bugner, and Scott Bugner is off. Thomas comes to a halt to, I think, try and allow Scott to recover in front of him, but Scott's down to 6th now. Rich Hayden up ahead of him in 5th. Now, do we see whether Scott has recovered? He's still showing on the timing tower as being in 6th place. I think he's managed to recover in front of Andy Carroll. And I'm sure Thomas will be first to apologise for that move. But, yeah, disappointing for Scott there.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate. And I think we should just never praise anybody because it always seems to come undone a little bit. So, again, the curse of the commentator, it always seems very real when you say something and you're like, oh no, and something happens. So, yeah, really unlucky there from Scott. Like we've been saying, he's performed really well this evening. Some really consistent performances, and again, still P6, so good recovery as well. And again, Tom's always the first to kind of rectify that and hold back to allow whoever is on the receiving end to recover. To again mean he doesn't get a penalty later, but also again it's the right thing to do. So it's nice to see that maturity from our drivers, especially when they are so young. But yeah, battling now Jack and Alex. So this is for P2. Jack's still right, a lot of curb there, unsettled in car. So Alex is just about ahead, but they'll keep fighting. We've got a lap to go, so it'll be back and forth between these two. Charlie will be quite happy about seeing this again. Behind him, he can just keep going up the road. Yeah,
that's all he needs to do now, isn't it? Penultimate lap of the race with Alex Forster in P2. Again, defending real well here from Jack Smith. Let's see whether Jack can get the same sort of run that Charlie Devlin had. And he's going a different way. He's looking to the inside. Remember, Charlie did the outside run. They're side by side as they go up the hill. And we'll see whether Jack Smith can do it another way. He does. And again, Alex Forster, fair play to him. I think realised that Jack was slightly the quicker of the two cars and wants that podium. And I don't blame him. I'll tell you what. Apart from the fact I'm not overly keen on we could be picking a second week driver of the round here in Alex Forster, but we've got Lee Pearcey in 4th. Lee's had a good consistent run as well. Most of the other people we're thinking about have had knocks, bangs or problems, but Charlie Devlin has had no problems. He is out front, penultimate lap off the race, and top 3 relatively settled at the moment as we watch Alex Forster on for his first podium of the campaign. I hope the first of many, to be perfectly honest. Charlie Devlin comes down the hill, about to start his last lap from Jack Smith in P2. It was Devlin and Smith P1 and 2 in race 1, so a carbon copy of that. 3rd place in race 1, of course, was Thomas Potter. He's down behind Scott Bugner, trying to have a clean go at Scott, I think, this time. Try and get up into 6th position. But yeah, superb stuff from Charlie Devlin. I think he might be our round winner in terms of points, but we'll have to get confirmation of that later in the week.
Yeah, another fascinating race this evening, and yeah, a bit still relatively calm for a full reverse grid, which is good to see. So yeah, it's been another good round. We'll see if we get any more potential moves going on, but it looks like it is very settled. Again, I don't want to jinx it right towards the end and say that for it then all to kick off within the last minute or so. But it does look like this is our finishing order, and everybody else there might be a few battles. Andy's quite close to the back of Thomas, so there might be a potential for a move there. The top 3 look pretty set.
They do look very good, don't they? So I think this has been a really good evening for Charlie Devlin. So issues in race 2, but in races 1 and 3, 2 wins in any formula out of 3 is a mega result, and I think that's what we're going to see from the mystery machines. He comes through that hairpin for the last time. Penultimate corner on this, I was going to say new circuit, but current circuit here on Anglesey. See, it used to be the final corner on the old track as they go across the old start-finish line, which didn't have any pit buildings. Actually, the new circuit did for many a year as well. But Charlie Devlin rounds the final corner and he's going to make it 2 out of 3 wins. We get a little bit of showboating as well from Charlie and the Mystery Machine, who goes across the line to take the win. Jack Smith in P2. Alex Forster gets his first podium, so it's great to going to be able to catch up with Alex Forster. Lee Piercy in 4th from Rich Hayden 5th. Scott Bugler very unlucky with that contact, dropping him down into 6th position. Thomas Potter 7th from Andy Carroll. Ollie Gibson in 9th. Craig Curtis wrapping up our top 10 from Daniel Heaps. Then Christian Gillian in 11th from Chris Blakey is next up. Caden Cook, Aidan Ingram, Cat Potter, Paul Laramie and Kian Haig complete the runners. A few non-finishers in that one, very, very sadly. We wish them well and hope that they will be back with us very, very shortly. And we hope you'll be back with us shortly as well, as we get some celebrations there from Daniel Heaps. One more set of adverts, one more set of interviews before we conclude our 3rd round of the Legends Scottish Esports Championship. So, warm welcome back to our final interviews of the evening. I'm going to do it 3, 2, 1 to just sort of mix things up a little bit. But also, it's really great to catch up with the driver who was driver of the round last time and was certainly in the mix for driver of the round this time as well. First podium of the season for Alex Forster. So, Alex, many congratulations and lovely to be able to catch up with you again. Bad evening and very nearly a podium in one of the early races as well.
Oh yeah, well, it's definitely. Well, I wasn't expecting to be here today in 3rd. I wasn't expecting to keep up with all the fast people. Nearly had a podium, but messed up near the end. Was trying to go dive bomb on Thomas Potter, but just a slight mess up, but still happy with 4th there.
Yeah, super result for you. In that race, and the other drivers have said they're not keen on Anglesey. How have you found it? I mean, we've seen you being quick. You were quick at Croft, and you've been quick here as well. But are you enjoying this track?
Oh, I mean, surprisingly, only the first time driving here, I found it difficult at first, but after a while doing laps, I just found a rhythm and just that consistency of it, and just try and get faster and faster every time. Just somehow get myself a rhythm in it.
Yeah, I fully get that. I can't remember whether your dad Alan raced at Anglesey or not, and if you are at tracks that Alan's raced on, does he help with the coaching? Does he watch what you're doing and talk about the tracks as well?
Yeah, he always comes along to help out. He always gives me tips on braking, how to learn the track better, where I can improve as well. Just trying to give them tips to help me go faster. But hopefully next year should hopefully go a lot better for my racing. Hopefully be more faster.
That's good. And I made the comment, I think, during race 1 that it would be lovely to see you back for more VRRC championships, because you've always been on or about podium pace, which is good to see. And to be honest, you know, we got to keep Jack Smith and the likes of Charlie Devlin on their toes, haven't we? So will it be possible to see more of you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I definitely do more sim racing championships. VRRC definitely is a good one, with a lot of clean racing out there, fair drivers out there, clean racing, and also definitely fast drivers out there to keep us on our toes, and a good battle for people to watch.
Well, you certainly entertained us the last couple of rounds, Alex, so very, very well done. And great to have you on the podium. Congratulations on it. I hope it's the first of many for you in this championship. Obviously, you've had podiums with us before, but have a great week, and look forward to seeing you next time out at Oulton Park.
Thank you very much. Hopefully there shall be more podiums on our way.
Hope so, Alex. All the best, mate. Very well done again. So that's Alex Forster, third position, and second position in our third race goes to Jack Smith. Jack, it was an unusual evening, wasn't it? A good first race with P2, and then what happened in race 2?
Misjudgment on the braking point. I went straight into Thomas, so then I waited for him, let him back through after that. So
right.
Yeah, dropped me well back down in the order. So yeah, but it's what it is. Made the mistake, and then I paid the price for it, didn't I? So yeah. But we came back up well with that. To be fair, came back up to like 7th, I think, or something like that. So yeah, it was a decent comeback drive from how far back I was in time wise. Anyway, it was a good decent drive for that. And then yeah, final race was good. Just I think I was just being overly cautious at the start. I was just like, I want to stay out of trouble. Just trying to avoid any contact or anything like that. And then yeah, I watched Charlie go for it, and I was like, damn, maybe I should have been a bit more proactive. But yeah, no, it was all good. And yeah, just try to catch him at the end. But I think we're basically at the exact same pace right at the end of that race. So it was stalemate. And yeah, that's just how it ended. But yeah, it was decent result. I don't think I lost that many points. So yeah, onwards to the next one.
Looking forward to it. I see you're doing two things at once, because you've just loaded into the Oulton Park server whilst you've been talking to me, or just before you were talking to me as well. So, and they say that blokes can't multitask, but you very much can do.
Yeah, definitely. Hotline Bang gonna do it itself, so yeah, I'm gonna do this now, and then Rich won't shout at me for forgetting it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying, you know, like even champions make mistakes, and there was a lovely clip actually on social media in the week, which was a reminder about when Nicky Lauda got an award, and he said that yeah, mistakes are how you learn, and I get that. I mean, I'm still learning a lot because I make loads of mistakes, even in this late stage of my commentary career. But it's a key thing, isn't it? You know, and there have been, you know, we've seen lots of drivers either outbrake themselves or have a bit of contact, and that's just been a thing, and it is going to be a thing in racing anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the whole reason I outbroke myself there is there's like a bit of rubber, like a rubber outline, and obviously on the inside of that corner there's no rubber laid down there, so I just completely missed it. Yeah, no, it's just something to look for. I'd never made a move down the inside there for the whole evening, so it was like uncharted territory, and I decided to make the move there. So yeah, not the smartest moment, but yeah, like you say, you learn more from the failures, don't you? So yeah. One for the memory bank, and then yeah, we move on.
You're just at Hilltop now at Oulton Park, I see, going down in towards his. So you're actually testing, for people watching. You're actually testing while you're talking.
Yeah, I'm decent at talking and driving. It's.
That's very good. Well, congratulations on a couple of podiums. I can't even begin to start to work the points out, Jack. But always great to have a catch up with you, and well done. Have you got your entry in for the Formula Ford yet, by the way?
I have indeed. Yeah, been working with Rich on like car setup and stuff like that for the championship. So yeah, it's feeling very good. It's feeling very very Formula Ford like. So it's proper pointy. I think it's gonna be some mega racing in that series for sure. So yeah, if anyone is watching, haven't signed up yet, get your sign up in. I'm sure Rich would greatly appreciate it, and yeah, it's gonna be super fun to watch, and yeah, can't wait for it.
I think Alan Bowles and Jeff Page is the sponsor of the championship, would love it. I've got to say that the two things that have fired me as a commentator, that, as much as anything else over the years, have been Formula Ford and Legends. So sort of being able to do esports for those guys is absolutely terrific for me. So really
spot
delighted to be involved in both of those. And the Scottish guys, Harry and Andrew and Alan from Formula 4, just lovely people. That's why we do it, because it's the people thing, and they're great people. But anyway, well done, Jack. I need to crack on before the evening disappears. Good luck with your hot laps, and we'll see you next week.
Just quick shout out to my girlfriend and my family and everyone at DK Power as well. Do a lot for me. So, yeah, thank you for letting me run the logo, and thank you all for watching.
Thanks, Jack. Very well done. And we go on to our race winner, double race winner this week. As I said, you had one prior to this evening, and then two in one evening. Very well done to Charlie Devlin. Charlie, driver of the round again, and we're not normally comfortable doing that because we them around a bit, but 2 wins, super stuff, and you don't like the track, so hopefully you do like the track now.
Yeah, the track's still not up there in my opinion. I seem to have broke the 3rd place in the podium curse, which is good to see. Obviously race 2, race 2.
So what happened?
I think at the start, obviously, Jack got caught up in an incident. I got caught up in that as well. So I got completely spun around and then went back to literally the last in the field. And then I had a bit of contact with Rich, I think, which put me back a little bit as well. And then obviously my internet just completely cut out. So I was in the battle for 2nd, I think, in that 2nd race. And then obviously finishing 11th isn't great for that for the championship task, but. It is what it is at the end of the day.
But yeah, super driving, fastest laps, on the pace. I'm not going to rub it in with Jack, but you've beaten Jack twice as well. So, from where we're looking, 2 driver of the rounds, you're gonna have to up your game to get the 3rd one. So hat trick next time.
Of course, that's what I aim for every round, to be honest. So, happy to get another driver of the round. Obviously, I've got to catch up to Jack a little bit. He's starting to run away just a tad, bit further out of reach than I would like. So I think Oulton hopefully should be a good round, and then we come back to this circuit again. Lovely.
No, the coastal's mint. You haven't got that silly long straight. It's not silly straight. It's named after Tom Price, but for legends, very definitely the coastal, and I think most of the Scottish races that we've had in the real world have been on the coastal circuit, and that's a mega little track.
Okay, we'll have to see how that goes. I think that the main issue with the long one is for those 2 long braking zones, there's absolutely no markers. It's just endless grass on your left. There's no dips in tarmac, there's no boards, there's no marshal post, there's nothing. So it's just a guessing game in a way, and to do that every single lap it's impossible. Because everyone's gone wide loads of times today at that hairpin. So we haven't got. As I say, we don't have that on.
That's not there on the coastal circuit. So we'll be. I think there's more of a flow to the coastal. But anyway, we'll get all the opinions on that when we come back. So you were saying about. So are you able to tell us you've got some real world stuff coming up, or are you able to tell us about that?
So I've been doing a couple of test days in a BMW 116 trophy car. So
cool.
A couple of weeks ago I did a test with 4040 Motorsport around Brands Hatch, just on a track day, and then also this Friday I'm going up to Donington Park. So it's going to be a bit difficult this week. So I've got another E-Series Thursday night which finishes about 9 o'clock, and then we're going up for a 3-hour drive Thursday night to the track, staying in a hotel, and then waking up at 7 in the morning to go and have a track day and some coaching, which is good.
Very good. Well, I hope you enjoy it, and it's great to have you here, but also great to hear that you're making moves with the with that championship as well, or that side of things, getting on track. So I hope you enjoy it, mate, and many congratulations on a good evening, Charlie.
Thank you.
So there we go, Charlie Devlin, interviewee of the evening, double win, driver of the round. Can't ask for much more than that, can we? What can we ask for? And that's the move to Oulton Park, which has come up now. And we've got 7 drivers in the server, all testing for next week. It's been a good one. Are you looking forward to Oulton next week?
Yeah, always looking forward to another evening of racing. Oulton's one I've been round myself in real life. It's where I did my arts test, so well, it feels like many moons ago now. But yeah, it was good fun round in a M4. That was a lot of fun. I got told to slow up in the end because my brakes were very hot. Because I was trying to chase them again, as you do. But yeah, so be looking forward to this one. Probably a bit more. Yeah, lining up your moves round this track, not maybe as easy to overtake round, but some different lines to go round the hairpin with the banking, so it'll be interesting to see what our drivers come up with.
Yeah, very much a good Scottish Legends Cars away day track, and I'm looking forward to joining you on commentary again next week. Thank you for joining us again, Becky. Always a pleasure, and thank you to Steve Allen, our broadcast director. And Rich Hayden, I think, is in the mix as well. Is he doing some testing at the moment?
I was.
Still times. All good. Anything further we've forgotten?
No, all good. It was fun to race at Anglesey. It's one of my favourite tracks, so I can't wait to get back here.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Well, there we go. We've got 2 weeks to wait for Anglesey, 1 week to wait for Oulton Park. From all of us on the Virtual Reality Club official Scottish Esports Championship, thank you very much for watching. Be nice to each other, and we'll see you same time next week. Bye for now.
The inside of Coates.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.